Well, welcome back, folks, to another YouTube video. Back in the helicopter again, and we are going to be doing another little tour of this part of India. I believe this area is Himachal Pradesh. We are starting here in Kulu Manali Airport, which is in the foothills of the Himalayas. This is more like I think you call them your traditional like hill station towns. So they're like hill stations, but it's all nice and green. This is very popular for tourists to escape the especially the hot, harsh summer heat of southern India there. So a lot of local tourists like to come up here and escape the heat. But our flight that we're going to do, do today is we're going to be doing, they call it the Kaza loop. So we'll be departing here, sort of retracing our steps from our previous flight, and then we'll be following this road here, this route that I did when I was in India back in 2006, and some beautiful scenery in real life. You drive along some lovely limestone cliffs like what you see in Thailand, those sort of orange and black stripes in the mountain, in the cliff faces. Great scenery around here. It's a mixture of your sort of what you saw in my previous videos, that deserty sort of barren landscape mixed in with lots of lush sort of rainforest type geography. And this part here you definitely do need to get, if you're doing this in real life, which are very easy to get. You get like in a permit visa zone, because you're going right up to the border here of well, this is Tibet, coming into Tibet / China. Yeah, quite a sensitive part, as most of these border places are. Like, I'm coming from New Zealand, I have no idea about. For us, it's just a novelty borders, but for many countries, they are a very sensitive topic. But yeah, we'll be following this valley along, going past here. Hopefully we'll be coming into Rikompiu, somewhere around here, which is a lovely lovely town situated in the mountains. Somewhere around here, I can't remember where Rikompiu is, if it's in a different language in here, but yeah, come around through here. Oh, is it around here? No, it's definitely up there, I'm sure. But anyway, we follow this road around, and this is very like lush green sort of landscape, and then we'll don't know if in real, when I did this, I think we definitely went back up here, then we came up this route here back into Manali, and then while I'm at it, I might take you for a little flight to a place called Kasol that we stayed for most of our duration here. Our 4 or 5 days we spent here. That's a really beautiful little hill station getaway. It's really lovely up here. And then our next flight we'll do later on, they call it the Spiti loop, which is regarded as one of the most complex, dangerous roads in India. It's one of these roads that, like, seriously, if you see photographs, it's very, very tight, like barely a car can get through these sort of roads. And we'll come back down here. We didn't do that. Oh, it's called the Chamba Spiti loop, I think it is, but I don't think we did that full loop, but we definitely went to, gosh, it's such a long time now, but we definitely went to, where is it? Dharamsala, and we'll explore. We'll take a little flight through Dharamsala, and we'll go up to this really cool place called, where is it? McLeod something or other. It's like it's one of those little villages a Scottish person's set up, and it's got like a really beautiful church there and whatnot. McLeod Ganji, I think it's called. Anyway, we will go up there and then we will probably make our way back to... we'll just land somewhere around here. But we'll definitely do go back to Flight Simulator 2020. We'll do a few flights. We'll do a 80-hour flight to this airport we're at the moment, and then we will... I'll probably be repeating myself again, but we'll go back to Delhi, and then we'll take a flight from Delhi to Kathmandu, check out the complex approach there, and for just this flight we'll just go to Lukla. I didn't do the base camp, but we'll take a helicopter ride up to base camp and then come back down to a really cool national park called Shitwan National Park, and then we'll go back to Kathmandu, and that will be... I'll just do a return flight back to New Zealand. Through this time we'll go back through Thailand, because I went to Thailand for a couple of weeks before I went back to New Zealand, and yeah, we'll get onto it. We'll do a little explore through the mountains into the forest here, see what it looks like, because we were going to do that in the previous flight until the laptop froze, but just wanted to see what it's like in the forest here. But yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? You can walk through these forests. It looks really cool. Don't think we'll be seeing any... Don't think tigers are in this game, but yeah, it's pretty cool how you can walk through the forest like this. Basically get lost in here. Which is a good point, actually. We won't go too far because we don't want to get lost, but first time I've done this is really cool. I wonder if you can hear sort of bird sounds in the background, can't you? As I said in my previous video, this is definitely tiger country. There are tigers around this area of India, so up in the mountains and whatnot. Whether we see them in this game, I don't know. It'd be cool to know what animals you do have implemented in this game. Be a little brief taste of being in the forests. That's really cool. Definitely want to do more of that. As much as it's probably the same generic scenery all throughout the world, it's pretty cool nonetheless to do this. Right, we'll get back to our helicopter, and we're going to actually do it's going to be the first time I've done this. I'm going to do a start up in a helicopter because I decided to start it in one of these parking bays so I can hop out and go for a little walk, but didn't realise it would be cold and dark like it is. Right, we'll start her up and we will get going. Right, got to do all these find all of these hidden click spots. Right, where are all of these other ones? I don't know what that click spot is. It's a shame that we can't do this in the Bell helicopter, I just feel like It would be cool if they had more like more of an indication of what ones you do need to like that have this little tick icon here. That would be really helpful. Anyway, pretend we're loading up the putting some cargo in the helicopter, eh? Ah, maybe that's... See, I reckon that click spot... See, that must be a click spot going... Oh yeah, so... That's a click spot to open it, and then you click up here to close it. Anyway, that's enough opening and closing the doors. We'll just check this tail skid. And I think that is us. We will jump back into the helicopter. And let's attempt to do a cold and stark. So how would I go about doing that? Right, I'm just going to print it, and I've done all of this. You know, got an internal. Do I have to do this before I go into the next one, do I? I'm just going to see if I can just like wing it, eh? Sounds like we've done something right. I think we might have done it, so that is good. Oh. Maybe not. Well, it sounds like it's starting up. Can't really hear much. Now we can hear something. Right, that's good to know. Right, you ready guys? Are you ready? Let's take off. Oh, do I need to turn the throttle right up? Let's see if this works now. Oh. Well, that worked pretty well. Just clicking random buttons and it seemed to do the trick. Like if you guys are new to this, once you get the basics of like starting an aircraft, you can basically start anything really. It's just like making sure you find where the fuel button is, where the start button is and whatnot. Most of these aircraft are quite transferable if you just have the basics. So I mean, it's so much easier and fun just starting straight off the runway, but it's good achievement if you can figure it out and how to start a helicopter or something different. But yeah, we're on our way now. So we're going to retrack our steps from yesterday and work our way back up this valley and over that really cool little pass. And then we'll follow that road that we were following yesterday and carry on right around, and we'll do this little loop that I did. Enjoy some of the stunning scenery on the way. I need to figure out why my airspeed isn't showing up. I did remove the might need to find somewhere to land in just to make sure that I've done the right thing here. Make sure there's no other missing little flags or something that I've forgotten to remove. Aim for this little grass patch over here and we will go see what's going on with this, eh? Didn't see that one there, did I? See, it would be really handy to make these walk-arounds more enjoyable if they just had like little flags there to make it, just like have a little exclamation mark saying this is critical for flight, like these little things here. Like instead of like trying to look around, they should make it a bit more, just a small little tip there, but oh well, it is what it is. Let's see if that works now. Not too bad of a landing, still need to get better at it. That's much better. Now we've got everything working like it should. Increase the warp speed and let's get going. we will do is we'll change the time of day just so we can get rid of that, as much of that superficial snow as possible. And we'll change the actual time to lots of time. So it doesn't get night time by the time we come back. but like I mentioned yesterday, the scenery is absolutely stunning. The detail in this is it's just incredible, eh? It's just a really good time to be alive when we've got great technology like this, and like I said yesterday, highly recommend to anyone this game, especially if you have no passion in aviation, but you love travelling. Like, just get the basics and you'll really find yourself so much enjoyment in the comfort of your own living room. Hook it up to a nice big widescreen TV and just go exploring the world, eh? Just spend your free time exploring places that you've never been to. You've got no desire to go there, but you just want to experience. Like if you're one of those people that can't handle being on a plane, or various medical conditions, or just lack of finance, this is a great way to great inexpensive way to explore the world. And like mentioned yesterday, if you're an avid flight simmer and you're looking for inspiration and something different to do, then yeah, get yourself to the Himalayas here. Come to either Pakistan, India, Nepal, Tibet, China. Yeah, there's so much. If this is what it's like, I can imagine all of these places would be like this. And we should have gone to Kasol while we're here, but that's not to worry. Right, let's tackle this little pass that we're now coming up to. Yeah, look at that. That's absolutely stunning. Helicopter takes a little bit to get used to. Like before, I was having issues with it always pitching up all the time. Yeah, just haven't quite mastered the helicopter, so there are times when I feel like I'm getting it, and then something will happen, I'm like, no, I'm not getting it. But as you can see, this road sneaking its way up the mountains there. That's how they do it in India, just following the terrain and the contours of the land, and just snaking their way up. But just the engineering alone to make these roads, and with the tools that they have, it's the altitude, it's just incredible what these guys can achieve and master and do. It's incredible. Just about to come over that pass now, and we will basically just shoot straight down this valley here, and then we'll take the take the next right at the next intersection and follow this valley along, which I believe will be this valley here, folks. Where is that road? Well, there's the road. It will sneak its way through all of these little switchbacks, hairpins, whatever you like to call them, and then following this valley all the way down along wonder where that road goes. No obvious signs on here where it goes, but I need to try that, check that one out one time. What I will do is I might follow this little valley up here, just go around these two little alpine lakes up here, and we'll go check them out, eh? Oh, wrong one. Mixed valley. Actually, that is the road that I'm supposed to be following. That's zigzagging up there, so we'll go check out these lakes along here, and then we'll loop on back. And there's nothing much for me really to say apart from just this just spectacular, and more for you folks just to put on a good soundtrack that you like to listen to, and go on a journey really. I'm not really a talker myself anyway, but I would spill on more if I knew what I'm looking at really, but this is all interesting geological features, lovely mountains. That looks like it could be, there's a nice lake there, we'll go check out that lake. As I said a few times now, it would be good if that looks like that would be a glacier at some stage, but I would really highly recommend Asobo to, I mean, they should really do India justice. It's such a beautiful continent, well, subcontinent, such a beautiful country, and also to do Pakistan and Nepal, Bhutan probably too, they could do that whole area, but definitely as a general, like, generic texturing and watercolours concerned, it would be cool if they implemented these colours more on all of the alpine lakes, have a bit more variation of, you know, colour charts that they call up on, that they can call up on, and just bring it more to life. You can see that looks like it would be quite an icy lake in the winter. Coming up to like a little glacier here. We'll just go check out this glacier, maybe land on it, pretend that we're dropping off some scientists to study the impacts on climate change, and then we'll carry on with our initial flight plan. There you can just see how ice and water have carved out these channels and its different features and whatnot. Right, let's go. Actually, what I might do is I might land up there actually, make it a bit more interesting for my little walk. Definitely need a good pair of sunglasses up here. I can imagine you'll get pretty brutal snow blindness up here. Actually, if this was real life, we'd probably want to land on something that we know is solid, such as rock. But I'm not. Oh, that would do, I guess. Stunning scenery, eh? It is absolutely breathtaking, eh? What you can do on this now, what you can experience and see, and I mean, apart from like the texture renderings, the sharpness of these mountains, not quite there. Through the shadows and whatnot, you can get the idea, and these mountains will be so much sharpened, you know. Interesting, eh? Really cool. Right, we'll get back into the helicopter and hopefully we can take off, because it did seem to just drop to the ground there. Aim for the halo of dust. Time to put the dust masks on, folks. Oh. And try not to walk into spinning objects. Right, let's see if we can take off now. Get that airspeed flowing over those mini wings, and we should be able to create our own lift now. Right, that was a nice little tiki tour, a little side tour, and we will carry on with the show. But yeah, so much to, like, in real life, so much to see in this area for those who are considering where their next adventure is in real life. Highly, highly recommend coming to this part of India. It is absolutely breathtaking, as you can see through this little taster. here's all of those lovely little switchbacks. In real life that would be very steep drop-offs on that side of the road there. Your classic roads sneaking their way up the mountains like that. Basically like little ant trails, aren't they? And we should probably look at finding another like little helicopter pad actually, because we are getting rather low on fuel. If we don't find one, we might just have to come up with a pretend one. Right, we'll just stop at one of these little villages and we'll just pick up some fuel. That will do. Sometimes it's like 2 steps forwards, 2 steps back when it comes to landing this. Right, we'll do a quick fill. And we might... yeah, let's just go with just us, eh? Right. Let's carry on, eh? We've got the co-pilot still but let's pretend we have passengers in there. And let's carry on with our next bit of our flight. Much rather land and pick up some fuel than have that option than have no option but landing. Let's see if we'll just touch it down ourselves or be forced to do it. Right, we are going the right way, aren't we? Let's just check Navigraph. Yep, we are indeed. And a lot of these would be like just single lane, like rickety old bridges, eh? Like a lot of these bridges would be quite interesting. Alright, put it back onto warp speed and we'll carry on with our little adventure, folks. Oh, if we just held out just a little bit more, we could have made it to that little helicopter pad there. Oh, let's land there, eh? Let's just pretend we didn't fuel up in the middle of nowhere and we'll land at that. Oh. I'm not too sure in real life if this is just a lake or if this is actually just a braided riverbed, but I'm looking at that thinking that's probably just a braided riverbed that might have appeared frozen when they did this game, when they did the scenery for it. Or I mean, do they do the scenery, or is that AI that does the scenery? If it's AI, it's probably assumed this was a lake of some description. That's interesting in the hillside there. Anyway, we'll come up to this helipad, we'll pretend that we haven't fueled it up yet, that we just made it on like 8% gas. And is this the helipad here? Don't think that one is. Oh yeah, it's just in front of us there, if I'm going off that map there. It'll be on the other side of this little stream thing here. So keep an eye out, folks. It's a little bit more forward. It's probably where that building is over there actually. There it is there actually. Must be a hospital, eh? Oh, I just can't seem... Oh, it must be just the altitude, eh? But I try so hard with this. There we go. Just drop it down just like that. Pretended we've picked up the fuel that we needed. Let's get going. Must be just in there where all those rocks are, but let's save ourselves some wear and tear on the skids. Warp speed again, and let's get cracking. And what we might do actually is, we've done a lot of this mountain hugging, this flying down the valley, so I might just fly along the tops of these mountains, just let's get a different view perspective. And I think that road's on that side now. Let's consult Navigraph. Yeah, it's on the other side of the river there. But what we will do is we'll follow the tops of these mountains for a bit, just to change things up a bit. Another little valley up there to explore one day. Yeah, just for this purpose it is better to be outside the helicopter, isn't it, just to get that, to give you folks that nice view all around. Once again, another little valley to explore the next time. You can see that would be a very steep canyon up through there. Steep valley. Looks like we are going to be taking this gorge through here, this little valley gorge, whatever you like to call it. But while we're here, we'll just see what that little object is there, we'll just see what that is, if it's anything interesting. It looks like it's just a potential lake that would probably become a lake when there's rain or glacial melt. Yeah, I can imagine that whole area would be full of water when everything's thawing. Like another little helicopter pad down there. That one's a bit more obvious. But I don't think our fuel tank would have got us that far when it was currently at 10%. See little even rice paddy fields or various different grain fields, grains and barleys and whatnot. And then they usually put it on the back of a, when I was there anyway, they put it back on the back of a yak. If they didn't have a yak, they just put a big, huge, massive bundle on their backs. It's incredible how hard those people are. And then they'll walk it off to the market and sell it at the market, or either sell it or exchange it for produce that they need. But yeah, we're definitely getting quite close to the Tibet-Chinese border. As we now will switch around into this valley here and start heading away from it. I think we will touch it again around here, and it'll be interesting now because we will be heading south once again. We'll be getting into the more lower, coming into like the foothills and the lowlands, so we'll start seeing a change in scenery. But yeah, I wonder where that road goes. It must go off into the mountains. Must be some sort of border patrol road or something. But yeah, it's just it's really awesome part of the world, isn't this? I mean, it's not pretty in regards to lush green, if you like green and grass and trees and whatnot, but I'm just going to try something actually. Will this come out in a bit more? I thought there'd be a bit more green coming up, but nah, it's just... We'll go back to June/July. But yeah, all of this will be bright green in different times of the year, depending on what time the harvest is. I'm guessing that's just after they've harvested their grains. Another little, that's the road making its way up over on the side of the this valley. Yeah, there definitely are sections like that. Would be quite a gnarly section of road to do that in real life, as you're hanging off the edge of the cliff. Man, the roads that they build up here is just phenomenal. And when I was there in 2006, the equipment that they did have when we were driving past roading gangs, it definitely wasn't health and safety proof like New Zealand's standards are, but they get the job done, and they really do put their bodies on the line to get this, keep the country moving, keep the traffic flowing, keep everyone all connected. Definitely are the unsung heroes in the world, roaders, and especially road builders up here in this part of the world. As you can see, more like produce farms, fields, that classic tourist fields that you see a lot in this part of the world. Trying to utilise every bit of space they can, and as you can see, space is at a very premium here, so if you don't have a flat bit of flat ground, I guess you do the best you can to terrace it. And you look at that, just sneaking its way around this road, sneaking away around this hairpin, which would be in real life absolutely on the edge. Yeah, I really do hope that you guys enjoy this. It's different from my last videos. I'm trying to mix it up and do different things. And also too, like, as I mentioned, I've always wanted to... I've done it a couple of times now on FSX, gone around it. Nothing in this as dramatic as and as beautiful as the scenery. I wonder where that goes now. I must scoot all the way. Must go for a little tunnel there or something like that. But yeah, like, you know, I never got around to doing this in Flight Simulator 2020, and I should have. But I'm glad I did held out, because this is so much more better than 2020 from, like I said, that brief little tour that we did with 2020 before I went out and got this. Yeah, just the level of detail in that terrain there is so incredible. And I'm glad I didn't do it in 2020. I should have done it in 2020, but I'm glad I did it now with the mindset of recording myself in YouTube, for YouTube. Otherwise it would have felt like I've just been, like, in a way redoing everything, so it's good to do this for the first time. And it probably would have looked like this in 2020, but this definitely is really, really stunning in 24. It must be flying over another, there it is, another little helipad. That looks like a military one, I'm guessing. I definitely don't get that vibe of general aviation around here for many reasons. Particularly health and safety. This area would definitely be the most experienced pilots, helicopter pilots only. I mean, we're doing this from the comfort of our own homes, but I can imagine there's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Lots of other variables that are not really quite represented in this game, like winds and turbulence. I can imagine flying through the mountains from pieces of information that I've got through various different sources. Yeah, flying through here is definitely not for not for your average Joe blog. You know, one downdraft and you'll become a permanent part of the scenery, really. But yeah, there's still parts of the texturing that looks generic. But yeah, as a whole, most of the scenery is pretty spectacular and pretty. But yeah, you can sort of see the gradual change in the geography of this area. It's becoming a bit more greener, a bit more flush with vegetation as we're getting more and more down into what they call it, the hill country of India. I think in relative terms, you got the Himalayas, which is a barren and desolate landscape, and then as you get further down, you get, this is probably what they call the hill countries, the highlands, which is lush green, still got your snow-capped mountains, and then as you get further down, you get into more of your foothills and your I guess they call it hill country. And that hill country is, yeah, when you get into the hill country there, it's just, as it is, it's green, lush, lots of good growing conditions. Not that I'm a farmer by any means, but being a Kiwi and surrounded by farmland, most of us know enough about farming to get by. And these would be like rickety old bridges here. Here's a bridge that might be a new bridge actually that they've built. Looks like it's got some pillars, but that must be their old original wooden bridge that they would have had. through some steep gorges here. Mate, if you're a truck driver or you're a regular user of these roads, it must feel like every day you've got your life in your hands. Like any day could be the day that a little earthquake would be more than enough, an avalanche, a rock slide. And it would be definitely good night, big time. But I wonder where Recon Peel is. It must be... I'm just going to have a look. Hopefully I can just stabilize this helicopter a bit. I'm just going to have a look at where Recon Peel is, because that's a place that I... Right, so Recon Pio must be around here somewhere, so we haven't gone past it yet, but I do remember it was a really lovely... It was a really cool little hill country town. We must be coming... This must be it over here, but yeah, I do remember looking up at these mountains up here, and it was one of those... I was going to get a camera photo the next day, but the next day was all cloudy and misty, so I missed a great opportunity. But yeah, really lovely around here, really beautiful part. This is one of those hill stations that people come up to in the summertime to escape the heat of India. So this... Oh yeah, there's Recon Pio there. So yeah, this is Recon Pio. I'm not too sure if Recon Pio is just a part of the little village, or this whole place is Recon Pio, but yeah, a really cool place. Lots of like your classic like restaurants with balconies that overlook these other valleys and the mountains, those rooftops. What's it doing? Yeah, lots of those classic little restaurants with the rooftop terrace where you can sit out and enjoy the views. We're definitely making our way through this trip. We're basically thereabouts on the home stretch. What I might do is I might look for this helicopter pad. Actually, we'll do one more top up. Where would this helicopter pad be? Let's aim our helicopter for it. And we'll have a little top up of gas before we carry on to our next destination, to our last... This will be our last fuel stop, and that should get us to Manali. And is that the helicopter pad there? Or is the helicopter pad down there somewhere? And these are the questions, folks. No, further along. It must be down in this valley here, so we'll come down, right down into the valley here. Collect a quick drop of fuel, and we'll carry on. Well, it looks like we've passed the helicopter pad, so it must be down here somewhere. Oh, there it is. There, found it. My classic hop, jump and skip, and oh, can we just do a nice little gentle touchdown? That's perfect. Just a shame we couldn't do that in one fluid movement like you see in the movies. Right, we'll go to fuel. Yeah, that should be more than enough to get us back to Manali. So let's carry on with our last leg of the trip. Really cool how they've got all these helicopter pads implemented in the game, which is really cool to see. I just really need to get better at my landings and try and do it so that I skip the skip part of and the hop part of out of the landing and just go straight onto the helicopter pad. Nice and gentle, but one day we'll get there. And I'll go back into warp speed ×2 and we'll crack on. But these will definitely be like really cool little Airbnbs and whatnot, accommodation, so those there'll be definitely a lot of those up in the hills here, offering spectacular views, no doubt. And yeah, I can imagine all of this land would be quite nicely terraced and whatnot. Yeah, I'm guessing all of this will be all terraced, all growing. I think you're getting down now warm enough to grow rice, so there'll be a lot of rice paddy fields all around here, along with your crops for growing grains and barley for making bread and whatnot. So staying down this valley for the remainder of this trip, and then we'll try and find our way up through this road. And we'll just we'll go a bit higher so we can get a better view over these initial foothills and get some views of that. So we'll try and get this helicopter to the tops of these hills. What we might do is we might just pop into one of these forest paddy fields. Oh, before I do that I'll turn off warp speed. And we'll just go for a little walk through see if there's anything interesting in these forests. That's what I wanted. That's how I want to land on those silly helicopter pads, but I can never manage to master it like that. That will do. Right. What we will do is we'll put on the brake. That might reduce some of that dirt, and let's go for a little gander, eh? I have no idea where I'm going, but we'll listen to all of that bird life up here, eh? Alright, let's get back into a helicopter, eh? Oh, that's quite fun to do. I really enjoy doing that. Pretty cool concept, eh? Walking around and exploring the environment. And let's make sure we don't hit any of those high voltage power lines. Right, let's get back to our flight, shall we? Back to 2 times warp speed and let's carry on. That was quite fun. I need to do more of that. And we'll need to try and find the deer and stuff like that too. Try and find all of those animals that are apparently in the game. And we are now basically on our home stretch to Manali, back to where we all started, I think. Yeah, we'll follow this road up and then into Kullu Manali Airport, as we'll start to climb back up into the mountains again. You can see that road, it's a very long climb up to there, then it switches back on itself. So yeah, like all of these roads in this part of the world, lots of switchbacks, lots of hairpins, lots of climbing up into the mountains here as I'm regaining control of the helicopter. You can see the road just heading right over the mountains there, over the saddle. Not as spectacular as the mountains, isn't it? Still you still get that that feeling you're in the mountains here, and like I say, this will be, depending on the time of the year, but this will be more lush green and being forested and stuff. There'll be lots of like little waterfalls and whatnot, so it definitely will have a different vibe to it that this game hasn't quite brought out through this. But I mean, it's still real cool to fly around these mountains here. It's not as dramatic as and textured as the as flying up in the Himalayas, but it's still pretty good. I don't think we'll ever get to that real world level of detail with waterfalls and steep cliffs and the mist and whatnot, because I don't have it set on like real world weather, I don't think. But yeah, still quite nice, isn't it? I have no idea what that big square icon means. But we're basically on the final bit of our flight now as we're heading into Kulu Manali Airport, where we'll say goodbye for today, and we'll come back and we'll do that next segment of our trip through, well, for me personally, as I retrace my steps almost 10 years ago. Oh, not 10 years ago, well, 10 years ago was 2015, I'm talking about 20 years ago now. That makes me feel so old. 20 years ago when I was a young 19-year-old kid. We'll be retracing that journey. We'll continue retracing that journey that I did as we come into Kulu Manali Airport. Didn't really speak much for that last little bit. It's more for you just to enjoy the scenery and listen to some good music, especially if you're someone who doesn't want to get into Flight Simulator, but really appreciated going through that scenic helicopter ride through the valleys. That probably wouldn't be allowed in real life just due to borders and weather and whatnot, but we'll definitely need to come back here and explore more of this region in full as I now come into land and attempt a landing that will hopefully be like that landing that I did in that random clearing. Hopefully I can just find a spot and just touch down. And we'll just land over here, this little spot over here. Not as smooth as the other landing, but that will do, and that will be our flight, folks. We'll idle the helicopter, shut the fuel, and that will be us. We'll go out and open up all the doors though. Pretend we are... It'd be cool if we walked around and it just stays in the open position. That would be a really cool feature, but right, and that is our flight, folks. Thank you for being a part of that journey. And we will see you again for the next part of this Manali-based... Actually, we probably won't be going back to Manali when we do that. When we do this route. Where is it? Up through here, I believe they call this the Chamber Loop. Up through here, then down through to Chamber. We will probably carry on to, where is Dharamsala? But yeah, if we find a helicopter pad at Dharamsala, we'll land there, and then I think I'll just end that trip, or we could carry on down with the there's Dharamsala there. Come check out Dharamsala. In real life, I got on a train from Dharamsala, then we went to Delhi, and then from Delhi we took the train to somewhere around here. There's a border that we jumped over around here somewhere, and then we went to Kathmandu. But yeah, the next flight will be the last flight departing from Manali, and we'll carry on. And yeah, I'll stop rambling on now, but I'll let you guys go and enjoy your evening, your day, whenever you watch this video. But thank you for being a part of this journey, and we will see you on the next one.